Today I have with us our returning superstar, Neil.Dowell. Welcome to the show again, Neil.
Thank you. Not really a superstar. Today I thought I'd like to talk about my life as a clairvoyant medium. I look at it as a very, very big responsibility because we're dealing with people's lives.
Absolutely.
And so it's nothing about let's make money and all of that, because you can't and you don't work that way on a spiritual level. So being a medium, I don't tell everybody that I am, because people either like you for it or they hate you. And I've discovered through the years, it can be a lonely journey because we don't all mix together and talk about things. You know, a lot of mediums don't talk to other mediums, and some of them are worried about competition and everything else. I don't care about who's good, bad or indifferent, because we're all doing spiritual work for the benefit of mankind, and that's what it's about.
So Neil, sorry to interrupt. So in a client preparing themselves to come and see you, what would you suggest to do?
I just tell them come with questions they want to know about, be open-minded. And some people say to people when you go and see a clairvoyant, oh, tell them nothing, as if we can read their mind. We can't. And so if you come with that attitude, you actually put a block there and you create a negative energy. I like people to be relaxed. So I always offer them tea or coffee or whatever to relax them. I like to know their full name, because by looking at their name, I can tell everything about them and what they're like as people. And so when I do that, it gives credibility to how the reading is going to go. Because if that's right, then they have more trust and faith in you. And we always prepare ourselves before a client comes. And sometimes clients are ill-mannered that they don't turn up. I've had it. And you're really weird for quite a while because you're in tune and yet it's not going anywhere. So I say to people, if you want a reading, please honour the medium, because, you know, they're putting themselves out there to get in tune, to make everything happen for you, because we're here for you. We're like a TV set. You switch us on and then you get the picture of what Spirit wants to tell you. And when you go for a reading, you get what you need to know, not always what you want to know.
There's a difference.
And a lot of people can't deal with the truth.
That's true. And it's potentially a fear?
Can be. Or people just come with preconceived ideas of what they expect and what they want. And I love the ones that come and want to know, is this the right man in my life? And if you say no, they nearly collapse. And then they say, well, what's the next one like? Get through this one first and then the other one will come.
Because it's a journey, isn't it? We have to have these experiences to learn and grow.
Definitely.
And to be able to appreciate the next one, perhaps.
Exactly. And to know what you want in a partner and what you don't want. Because if you don't think anything, God will just send you anything in a pair of pants. And you'll get the wrong partner, because you have to put energy into everything of what you want to be a success in your career, in your life as a human being, and also in getting the right partner. It's very important.
And that's what's great about coming to see somebody like you, because you offer them an opportunity to learn about themselves and to define, well, who am I? What do I want actually?
Exactly. And I had a case not long ago where a lady wanted to leave her partner. And then I said to her, well, let's have a look at him. So we looked at him, and he was perfect for her. And then at the end of the night, she said, I'm glad I found him again. Because we're so busy in life, we don't look at anything much. We just take too much for granted, and we must never do it. And the worst thing we can ever do in life is assume. Assume is the most dangerous thing that there is, because you think you know everything. Like people like to assume you're busy. How do they know? Ring up and find out. You may not be busy.
And when you were saying that too, you know, to be able to see the beautiful things that we have in our life, the attitude of gratitude. I love that little catchy saying.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah, it is.
And to turn the volume of that up, because we are kept so busy that we just overlook it these days, don't we?
badly.
And I'm generalising.
No,
here
but
too.
it's true because most people do.
Yeah.
And I wonder what they're busy doing.
Yeah. What are we busy?
Because if you've got a partner, you want the best out of them as they want the best out of you. So, you know, sometimes you look at couples and you think, shivers, if this is what love is, bring on hate. Because they're hateful. They're not loving.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's really strange. But what I've learned, to love someone, you must always love yourself first. And in my world, I love my spirit guides as if they were my dearest friend, because they are. I'm not the smartest pig in the world, but thanks to Spirit, they've made me very clever. They taught me the curriculum because I am a florist. They gave me a curriculum to teach floristry. They give me all the skills with everything I need in my life. And sometimes when I'm doing a reading for people, they use these big words and I go, oh, I don't know what that means. And I say to the person, do you understand? And they say, totally. I go, oh, he's good. So your guides are really your best friend and they're very, very important, and you must always have a good relationship with them because they know you better than you know yourself.
And Neil, you said about loving yourself more. How can one person do that? What's your advice to a person to love themselves so much that then they're able to love another person?
Well, growing up, I was always basically very shy. I never had self-worth and confidence. I always had a big mouth and was always blunt and to the point. But it takes time to love yourself, and it's all about don't listen to the negatives, because see, people love to put other people down. And when anyone says to you, oh, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're not going to amount to anything, I've now learned, well, if someone says that to me, they're actually talking about themselves. And they're trying to throw their rubbish onto me. So I don't accept negativity. I'll accept lessons that people want to teach me and say, oh, Neil, you're this, this, and this, and I try to change. But I don't know if we change that much. Because a friend always told me a clever statement, I love it. She said, you can put lipstick on a dog, but it's still a dog. And it's true. We are basically always what we are. And the older we get, I'm discovering I'm actually very intolerant. I can't put up with rubbish from anyone. I don't like to put on anything. And I thought, well, I've earned intolerance because I don't have to put up with anything anymore. When we're younger, we do. And often it takes a hard lesson to learn about yourself. And you know, if you're sensitive and shy, you've got to overcome it because you'll always be a victim. And I was for a long, long time until I learned I'm not going to be one. And the easiest way I learned to overcome shyness was to take myself to a Hilton hotel and sit there and have lunch or morning tea on my own, because I thought, well, people think I'm a tourist. So that got me out of being shy and not confident, because I wouldn't like going out or anything else, or shy eating in front of people, until someone said to me, are you famous? And I said, no. They said, well, eat your food how you want. And I thought, that's right, because no one's looking. And who cares if they do?
Whoa, that was a powerful statement.
It was a very powerful one. And see, we don't listen to ourselves much. I remember when I was in Thailand with friends, and the Thais would always ask them to buy, but they never asked me. And I thought, oh, what's wrong with me? Maybe I'm grumpy, maybe I'm not. Then I met this spiritual Thai woman, and I asked her, Pim, why is this happening? She said, Neil, don't you realise that you're a spiritual being and they can read it, and they don't have to, because they know if you want something, you would buy it. And I thought, a lot of Asian people are very clever. They can read us more than we can read others, because maybe they spend time thinking and looking and observing. We're rushing too much.
Absolutely.
And we shouldn't rush through life, because it's like we're worried about the destination, but we're not enjoying the journey.
And it's all about the journey.
Always.
Because you get to the destination and then you're on another journey. It never
exactly.
ends.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's not the end, yeah.
So, yeah, I find that being a medium, it's a lovely learning curve, and often I can read something for people and then the guy says to me, now take that advice yourself. And I go, I will. Because they teach us all the time in many ways, and I have to thank them, and I'm grateful for what the spirit people have done for me, and they do look after you. They really, really do, and we've just got to honour the gift and honour that we're here to help others, because it's not about us, it's about others.
So we come back to the how to work with a person who's going to help you, that has the psychic abilities and hearts, because it is within us to different varying degrees, and whether a person knows it or not, it's there, it's innate. And there is a certain respect that goes with working with a psychic, like, you know, come if you make an appointment, you know, that the person has prepared for you and they're in that healing space and they want to help you and do wonderful work like you do.
Definitely.
And, you know, as a helper, as a healer, it's disappointing. You know, it's like, oh, you know, like you were connecting even to them before they've even really arrived, to be honest.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes you pick up things about the client before they even get here. And so you start knowing things about them, and then when you start the reading it all comes out.
Incredible.
And people just think you're talking, but they don't realise with the ability I'm hearing, I'm feeling, and I'm seeing things all at the same time. So you're not, people think you're just talking, so sometimes you use tarot cards so people can just relate to it. And sometimes for people who are starting out, I say get some tarot cards, learn them your own way, because sometimes you could say to someone, oh, you've got 3 children, and they say, no, I've got 2. And you go, oh, well, I must have read the cards wrong. Because you don't want to feel that when you're doing it that you're a failure, you're not good and you're not right. Because a lot of, I think a lot of psychic people don't have a lot of confidence, don't have great self-worth, because they're lovely, sensitive people who are shy and who don't believe in themselves. Because I think if you think you're too fantastic, in the end you're not. It's like if you're a performer, a singer, if you're not nervous before you go on stage, you've got no energy to work with. So if you think you're so great when you've got clients, you won't get anything, I don't think. I don't think I'm great or anything. I'm just here to do a job the best I can. And every client's different and every situation's different, and it's great. And it's interesting because every one of my friends has been a client. Every single one.
Wow.
So it's good.
Meant to be.
Meant to be. Definitely.
Yeah.
So life, I find, is very, very interesting. And definitely I listen to my intuition all the time. I don't do anything without listening to it.
How can a viewer perhaps turn up their intuition or and know that a guide is speaking to them? Because we've spoken about trusting your guides and working with them, but how would they know how to do that perhaps? Well,
an intuitive energy is always fact. If it's emotion, it's you. Fact is really your intuition. And a lot of people who are intuitive don't listen to it. So they just think, no, it's not right. And then afterwards they go, I was right. So it's about trust your first impression. It's never, ever wrong. Ever.
Okay. So distinguish between fact and emotion.
Yes. And when spirit's there, it's like your own thoughts, but it's different. The voice is different. You don't always hear a voice clairaudiently out there, but you can hear the voice in your head, and it's very different to your own head. It's different. And you can see with clairvoyants too, when they're in tune, their eyes are different. They change. You know, you can see they're like glassy and sort of looking somewhere else.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Almost like daydreaming.
Yeah.
Going in and out of that, not completely like scary.
No.
Like not weirdly, but just...
And don't be afraid of it, and don't be afraid of yourself, because it's a case of practice makes perfect. And it does. And it's just have confidence in everything you do.
Great advice.
Confidence is everything. And don't allow anyone to give you negative thoughts and doubt yourself. Don't.
And, you know, we spoke about earlier before the interview, we were talking about people's experiences, their beliefs, their life journey has their personal filing cabinet, if you like, of experiences, puts a lens on how they look at situations and life. And I think that it's nice to talk about this so people can be aware, actually, before we react or assume or judge, that it's coming from perhaps the lenses of our personal history.
Oh, definitely.
And it's coming to see somebody like you is amazing, because you, in a discussion which you're connecting to source and using your abilities, just having a conversation without the whole tarot cards and all this, you are channeling the information that's going to help them, and you're tapping into also their personal filing cabinet, if you like. Because I think you know where they're coming from with compassion and love, and you're able to gently put a mirror to themselves so they're able to work through that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You should have you're enlightening them as to, well, actually, you know, this is happening, that's happening, so we mustn't judge because this is what's happening with that other person. Am I just waffling on now?
No,
or does that
you're
sort of
not.
make sense?
And I've had clients that come and see me, and when you tell them, oh, you're a wonderful person and wow, you're really special, they cry. And I say, what are you crying for? Because no one's ever told me that. Because people aren't saying nice things to each other anymore. No one's saying, oh wow, you look beautiful, your hair's nice, this and that. I remember years ago I was at a shopping centre and I saw this very big lady come up, and I looked at her face and I said to the lady, I hope you don't think I'm mad, but I just want to tell you, you've got the most beautiful face. And all the lady did was cry. Because I don't believe anyone told her she was beautiful, and she was. You know, we're not saying things to people anymore. We love to put people down and
the tall
not
poppy
be nice.
syndrome.
It is. And we're famous for that here in Australia.
Oh, we are.
And it's not good.
Yeah, if you dress nicely, well then, you know, you don't get pat on the back for putting effort into your appearance. You're then seen as conceited.
Yeah.
You know, where does it end?
And sometimes when you look at people think you're staring because they're horrible, but you could be staring thinking, what a lovely little kid or whatever.
Yes.
And no one can touch anyone or do anything anymore because it's like you're inappropriate. Well, good grief. A world without touch, you die.
Whole lot of conditioning there, isn't it?
Heaps.
Yeah, lots of conditioning. So this is...
And we judge everybody by ourselves, really, don't we?
Yes.
We do.
Because it's our own personal experiences that form those beliefs and boundaries and values.
Yeah.
So really we look at everybody as just how we respond and react and judge situations is literally a reflection on ourselves.
It is. And it's good to mix with different nationalities because you learn a lot. Once I was having dinner with a group of friends, and I had this great Chinese man there, and they all said, why do you make so much noise when you eat? And he said, because I enjoy it. He said, in our world, those who eat quiet are the ones who stole the food. They're a thief. They're eating quiet. And so it's very, very interesting.
Different
because it's true. It is.
Yeah, I love that.
I do. So it's like, eat and enjoy. Who cares?
Yeah, be yourself.
Always.
Unapologetically.
Always.
It's hard to do because there's that part of us that just wants, I guess, everybody to love us.
And we're looking for approval.
We're looking for approval. That's it.
Approve of yourself.
Yes.
And then you're fine.
And that's how you love yourself.
Yeah, because I don't give a rat's what anyone thinks about me because I like who I am, and it took a long time to get there, and now I'm there. It's all good.
Yes.
And then your life improves.
Yes.
And you're happy.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like driving through life, taking the handbrake off of the car.
Exactly.
Because when the handbrake's on, you're going forward, but there's a bit of resistance.
Exactly. exactly.
When you love yourself, things become easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people who are learning about their spiritual abilities and gifts, consult with people who've got a gift and are using it so that they can help you and teach you to bring out the best in you and everything else. Because not everyone's going to be a clairvoyant that's going to read for others, but they can have the gift for their own life. Because you have to really, I've worked out, have to be quite tough and strong to deal with people. And a lot of stories here are very sad. So I always say, well, I'll cry with them, but when they've walked out the door, my tears stop. Because I can't carry their energy.
The energy of that.
And usually when they leave, they're much happier and better than when they came in. Because I maintain when you've got clients, I don't care how long it takes, I don't work to a time frame, but I must make sure they always leave better than when they arrived.
And let's talk about suppression of feelings. Because I think a lot of people do that. We're sort of trained to ignore our feelings because that's feelings are weak, you know,
they're
and
not.
they're not.
They're not.
No,
at all.
not
at all.
Not at all. Feelings.
And it's like people say, oh, well, little boys aren't meant to cry.
Yes.
Well, my God, aren't they going to get problems later on in life?
That's it. So it's important to actually deal with things, think about things, go and see people like yourself, you know, that can help you unravel the knot that you're carrying around. So you're not burying it, because when we bury our feelings, it causes
cancer.
That's it. Disease.
It does.
Yeah. So we mustn't suppress things and bottle them up. We need
Never.
to work them out.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
So thank goodness for people like you, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I say, I've got some people I've known and they don't want to hear the truth. You tell them the truth and they don't want it. And then they always want you to fix their life up, and you can't. Because, you know, you've got to work on yourself no matter what, because it's your life, your journey. And really life is about accepting everything that's going on, because everything is a lesson. Everyone you meet is teaching you something.
That's it.
And it's not about, some people can teach you things that you don't like and they may not be appropriate to you. And so you just go, well, good, well, I'm going to discard that.
But it's good to acknowledge it, to actually know that, well, actually, this is for me, not to me.
Exactly.
Take yourself out of the victim mode and go, this experience is happening for me to grow and to learn from, because every experience gives you a mirror to who you are. So you can go, well, actually, that doesn't resonate with me. That's not my values and you know?
Exactly.
And it helps you, if you don't know what your boundaries are, when you go through life and you have experiences with people, especially the negative ones they're not pleasant, you soon find your boundaries. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And, you know, the biggest lesson you can learn is in the workplace. Because you're mixing with people who you don't know. You come in there, then you start, as you work, you realise, well, you like them or you don't or anything else. But you've got to have very strong, good values within yourself.
Yes.
And I've been in some mad situations in a workplace. I worked somewhere and they said to me, oh, you can't, I was in an office situation. I said, oh, you can't answer the phone. Fine, I won't. And then about a year later, they said, oh, Neil, could you answer the phone? I said, I've got amnesia, wouldn't know how to do it. No one tells me I can't do anything and then tells me to do it. I won't do it. No. So you've got to have your boundaries. That's it. And know who and what you are and what you will and won't put up with.
Very important.
Very.
And have an attitude of gratitude.
And always thank God for the day that you've had at the end of the night, because not everything's good, but you've learned something. Every day we learn something. Every day is a gift. It is. It is a gift. It is. And miracles happen every single day. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So every day is an opportunity to learn something more about yourself, because the most important relationship we can have with anybody is the one with ourselves. And a nice lesson to learn at the moment is stop moaning about how dear everything is. Like food, and that's so expensive. Think about the people that can't buy food. They're in somewhere else in the world. So just be quiet, accept it, And what's the point? Because people aren't getting together and fighting things, they're not. We just whinge and moan, and that's a negative energy. You don't really need.
That's true.
And I do it.
Yeah,
I moan and groan.
me too.
But we shouldn't.
No.
It's about accept.
We need to be more, we go into like these peaks and troughs of awareness, and that's just when we've gone into a little trough of awareness, and then we come back out and go, oh, that was negative energy.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done it. But we're human as well, and we're meant to, because we're having an experience.
And you hear stories like there's people that sometimes get a new partner, and their family may not like you or blame you for things, and I say don't buy into it. They don't really know you, and they're using the reflection of who and what they are onto you. And you've got to be strong to not own it. You can't own people's negative thoughts about you. You mustn't, because then you'll lose yourself. And so you've got to be strong and say, that's their opinion, good luck to them, and then you decide whether you want to be in their company or not. And sometimes we can't get out of being in their company, so you just learn to switch off and just use fluff and bullshit, because that gets you out of everything.
All the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Well, you said it better than I did.
It's hard to do when the energy there is so horrible.
But you have to, because some situations you can't get out of.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, they could be someone's mum or sister or whatever. So you can't say, I'm just going to totally cut off from them, because then you're hurting your partner as well. And it's like, gosh, I can't isolate myself from everything.
No, that's true.
Because then you just live in the house and don't go out of it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Become a hermit.
And that's no good, because you're not learning any life lessons or life skills.
You're not going to school anymore.
No.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And life is a school.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting, we learn more from little kids than what we ever teach them. Because they're so honest and so forward. It's like a little kid will say, oh, Mum, isn't Auntie Mary ugly? And you go, shut up. And at 16, you're saying to the kid, well, where did you go last night? Well, you already told them to shut up and not tell you the truth. So at 16, you're wanting it again. So it's very interesting.
The programming. That's
exactly, because a lot of times we teach them our negativity.
Yes. It's very hard. It is a hard lesson being here on this earth.
It is. That's why we chose to be here.
Apparently it's the hardest school.
It is, because in the spirit world you go into the energy of harmony. So if you've got a husband and wife on earth who never liked each other, they won't ever meet in spirit world, because they're not on the same wavelength.
Oh, that could be a relief to some people.
A huge one.
Love it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I've heard that the Earth school is all about emotions, energy, emotion, and duality.
Yeah.
And because we have free will, we can choose where we want to linger.
Yeah, we can.
We can choose to have a negative life all the way through to the end.
And you find if you're a negative person, look around, aren't all your friends negative?
That's
it's
true.
like attracts like. And there's some people that say, oh, I've got these beautiful friends and whatnot. And you say to them, well, have you looked at yourself? And they go, what do you mean? I said, well, you must be beautiful and wonderful as well, because you wouldn't attract that energy. And they get a big surprise.
Because it's true.
Yep.
And because everybody looks at always the negative, and it's hard to actually see it in a positive light.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum always said, tell me who you hang around with and I'll tell you who you are.
Wow. That is so true.
Yeah, Mum comes up with good ones. She said life is a stage as well. I put them in my book.
Well,
she said life is a stage. It's all an act. And you know what? The more and more I've travelled, I'm 50 this year, so I've gone, you know what? That's just so true. And I had to put it in my book. And I even elaborated on it that you are the director of your life, you're the producer, and you're also the actor.
It's true.
And you can change it.
You can. Just get a different script.
Different script, change the narrative.
Yeah. And
who changed? You told me about somebody that changed the narrative. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's gone out of my head, but it'll come back later. Just by changing the narrative of something, putting it in a different context, you free yourself from it.
You do.
It's so easy.
You do. And, I've got friends that I don't always like change, and then things happen and friends say, oh, you're coming out from under the rock. I say, yeah, I am. I'm learning more things. So I realise now, don't always be too set in your ways. Change, because change is good. Learn new things. Don't always eat at the same restaurant or go to the same places. Change.
Experience.
And I always say, opportunities come in our life all the time. Sometimes people ask you to go out and you go, no, I'm too tired. I always say, go. It's an opportunity. Because you never know who you're going to meet or what you're going to learn. So opportunities come all the time. So take them.
I love this because as I'm listening to you say that, I'm thinking that is great advice for people who suffer anxiety and depression because it pulls them out of the... Depression is about ruminating and thinking about the past, and anxiety is worrying about the future.
Yeah.
But if you just go out and grab hold with both hands the now moment and stop thinking about, oh, I'm tired, and go out and, like you said, have an experience, that's truly being in the now.
It is. And I used to have a lot of panic attacks, and so I always at the end of it I'd say, why am I having it? And I trust the first words that come into my head. So one time I had a horrendous one, and I asked at the end why, and it said, Neil, you're very lonely. And I thought, I'm right, because my 2 dogs I had to put down because they got old and sick. And so I went out and bought some more.
Wow.
Because it's telling you what to do.
Yeah. So we have to listen to that.
We do.
Yeah.
We do, because that's why we have them. And sometimes, like being a florist after working such long hours, like coming up for Mother's Day, you know, I'd be working long hours for days on end. Then you come home and you've been with people and the house is quiet. So then I might get a panic attack because I'm tired. Because when your reserves are down, that's when they come in. So, you know, and people don't talk about having these things. And a lot of people suffer from that. So I always say, analyse and find out why. So then you don't have them as often.
And you reminded me, I was watching a little, I'm going to say, it wasn't a documentary, it was more of an interview, of a lady who has done sleep studies and really bringing the Eastern culture and research, bringing it into the Western culture. And yeah, I might put it as a link in the description box below today because people might be interested in her work. She was explaining how... you know, if we don't get sleep, especially between the ages of, I think she said 40 and 50, but don't quote me, we have a very high chance, or it may even be validated in research, that we are prone to, or we will get dementia. And I thought that's interesting. And she, was talking about the realms of sleep and how it affects our bodies. And it's very important to get sleep. And you reminded me of that when you said about, you know, panic attacks and then being tired and then coming on. And so if you're not getting enough sleep, maybe read this book that I will find out the name of and put in the description box below, because it is important. And if you do suffer anxiety, do something about it if you're not sleeping, because the sleep is important for your health.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. So have a cat nap if you want one, and don't feel guilty. Just do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, cat naps. And she said some people, when they have a cat nap, they wake up and they feel really good. And other people have a cat nap and they feel worse. So everybody has different DNA in them of their sleep pattern. So trust that. If you don't feel good with a cat nap, don't have one. Yeah. And if you do have one.
And never feel guilty for anything that you do.
Oh, no.
No. Because sometimes everyone thinks they have to be busy. Oh, I can't not do the housework, you know. Bugger it.
Exactly. That's all that conditioning again.
It is, and we
if
don't
I don't
need
do
it.
that, I'll be seen as this.
No.
We've all got that to a degree. I have it as well. It's
We
just
can,
terrible.
but I did, but I don't.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
That's why I listen to you, Neil.
No, but that's why I love that affirmation I keep telling everyone to do, because it removes the negative traits we have, which is worry, doubt, fear, guilt, hope, and how. They're all negative.
And that's I deserve the best?
Yeah, and I accept the best now. Because, you know, we don't need those things. Because guilt traps you, so does fear. And worry is just filling your head with rubbish and doesn't allow you to have decent thoughts come in or your intuition to click in. And it's like when we're emotional and sad, you know, we cut off the energy of spirit coming to us and giving us advice and helping us. You know, when someone dies, we're so grief-stricken that you wouldn't see the person around that's passed on. And they are around. I love going to funerals with friends because I always see them at their own funeral because everyone's there. They are. one beautiful story. This lovely lady, for about a year I'd go every Saturday and visit her and help her because she was dying. And when she died, I was at the funeral and all I could see was her face. I said, oh, for God's sake, Esther, show me what you're wearing in the coffin. And she didn't. So that was the Tuesday. And on the Saturday, I went to the family home. And next minute, Esther walked down the stairs in a green dress with a white jacket. So I said to husband, is that what she was wearing in the coffin? He said, yeah, how do you know? I said, because she's just walked down the stairs. And they were so happy because she'd come home.
Oh, lovely.
And that was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is
it's hilarious. Yeah.
Sounds like she wanted to make a grand entrance
Yeah,
when
she
the time
did.
was right.
Yeah.
So not today, I'll show you my dress tomorrow.
Yeah, but no, I usually see everybody at their funeral.
Wow.
And it's nice.
Wow. A lot of people would be scared of that. I was speaking to a gentleman at one of my book talks on the weekend, and he said that he sees spirit and it terrifies him.
Why?
Yeah, and I questioned that.
The living you got to be scared of, not the dead.
That's true. No, that's true.
It is.
Whoa. Yeah, okay. I was reading something about death as well. And they said that those who grieve and grieve, of course we're human and we're going to miss the people who pass on. But the ones that grieve, they're selfish, it said. They're selfish. And I thought,
I always say
never
the ones
thought
that
about
howl and scream at a funeral are the ones that are guilty.
You did mention that in the last
And being a florist years ago before credit cards came out, and we'd always say, and we just sent accounts, I'd always say, go and quickly get the money because when the tears dry, you won't get it.
Oh, wow.
And it was true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe let's talk about why it's, I'm not going to say wrong, but why it's not really the best way to be is to always, be so grief-stricken, because apparently on an energetic level, it can hold them back.
I don't believe nothing holds spirit back. People say, oh no, I'm keeping them earthbound. I don't believe you are.
No, okay.
Because once they've passed on, they're doing their own journey and travelling. That's why people think they should be around them all the time. No, they're not.
No.
They've gone back to the energy of home, which is the real home for everybody. And so they're growing and moving on. And it's interesting, in my development, when I sat with my friend Mary Moss, I would see things in spirit world and it's beautiful. And before my mum died, 3 times she said, oh Neil, I went to this lovely place and I didn't want to come back. I said, oh good mum, that's nice because when you die, you're not going to be frightened. And I don't believe she was. I really don't.
With your abilities, like knowing that, like coming from you, that's good to know.
And I don't jump up and scream and cry because you do the best. I did the best for my sister, my dad and my mum.
Yes.
And so I don't have regrets or whatever, and I let them go on the journey. And yes, you think of them, but I'm not sad and grief-stricken because we did and had the best things. And that's what you got to look at. And always look when someone passes away. They always leave you a gift. It might be don't work too hard, spend more time travelling. A very wise man, he died at 103, and I'd visit him when he was in the nursing home, but he used to clean his house for him. And he said, Neil, if you've got any spare money, travel and have experiences, because he said, when I'm lying in this bed in the nursing home, I've got masses of memories. So make memories in your life because they're important.
They are.
They're very important.
That is a wonderful thing to share. Yeah, that's amazing. I love what you just shared then. It's so important.
Very, very.
Get out of the hamster wheel of life and start living it a bit more.
And you know what I've learned? When you're with wonderful friends, and I do have lovely friends, and we can have dinner, you don't have to be rich and make a big banquet. Even just baked beans on toast can taste like lobster when you've got good friends.
That's true.
Because it's not what you're eating, it's the company.
Company, yes.
And life, we need company because loneliness is the worst illness, I think, that the world has at this time.
Yeah, gotta agree with
you. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people may look like they're not lonely. They've got 5,000 followers on an Instagram account or something.
They have nothing.
But there's nothing. Behind all that, there's nothing. It's all a facade.
It is. It's fake.
It is. And, you know, obviously I help people with their issues, and this sort of stuff comes up. So...
And friends are good, and we've got to accept them for who and what they are. We all have faults. We're all strange and different. And so you just got to love them no matter what, because otherwise get rid of them.
Yeah. So we all walk around with our filing cabinet. I say that I've got to use my glasses as an example. The filing cabinet of all of our memories, feelings, thoughts is all filed away neatly and perfectly in the filing cabinet. And what happens is, for everybody, all of that information is compressed into my lenses of my glasses, and I put them on, and that is now how I see life.
It's true.
Change files in the filing cabinet, it gets changed in the lenses. You see life differently.
You do.
Yeah. I think it's important to share that so people can know you can change that. You can do it. There's a way.
And I think travel's important because you learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and go somewhere very different to how our world is, like maybe to Asia or something, and see how life is different and how different people are, because everyone teaches us something.
Absolutely.
They do.
Yeah, by just being.
Yeah.
They don't have to literally have a conversation with you. It
No,
could be
they
the
don't.
way that they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
You will learn something
Or
from
just
that.
a smile.
Just a smile.
Yeah.
Yep. And isn't a smile powerful?
Yeah, and not many people are doing it.
No.
So they must all have bad teeth.
Maybe. Too busy in the morning to
Yeah,
brush them.
yeah.
They didn't want to share them. But yeah, the smile, let's talk about that too, because, you know, going through my divorce, there were some very low moments there that, you know, I'll be honest, you know, I thought about ending my own life.
We've all gone through that.
We're human. It happens.
We are.
Why not, you know, test the boundaries there and see if that's going to resonate with us. So it's all good. But I remember a particular day I went to work, and somebody there just, I can't even explain. A smile, or it was a connection. It was, hello, Natalie, how are you today? But it was the way they connected with me. They were genuinely waiting for the answer, not just I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
And that saved my life. That lifted me up and restored my faith in something, humanity.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And so just by being a smile or just even an acknowledgement actually can save somebody's life, literally.
Definitely.
So you don't have to be a brain surgeon or a psychologist or anything to help somebody. You just have to be you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people need hugs. Sometimes when time is difficult, make a little booklet for a friend that's suffering, and it just puts, I owe you one hug, and let them tear it out because sometimes we can't ask, but we could tear a piece of paper and say, I need a hug.
Right.
And a lot of people need them. That's why I always think teddy bears are very important, and I've got lots of them.
Oh, you do? There's some behind us.
You know, there's something that people can relate to. Like if they're sad, they've got something to cuddle or remember or whatever, because bears are loving little things. They are.
Yeah. Well, they put a
And we've
smile.
all had them when we're kids.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Mine was called Radcliffe. I gave it
Was
to
it?
my Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
But no. Look, life is good. And when you've got a gift, I don't have my gift working all the time. You know, like there are some people going around and everything's a sign and this and that. I don't give a shit. But if someone needs help, I have the guts to go up to them and say, I've got this, I need to tell you or help you with. But normally, I just live my normal everyday life. And when I'm ready to deal with a client, I call on my spirit people, I do my mantra, get in tune, and I do it. But I say to my spirit friends, I also am living a life and I want to live my life. You can help me and we can help others. And I said, for God's sake, don't anymore tell me when someone gives me a gift what's in the parcel. Because I always did. Now I say, don't do it.
I gave you a gift and and you knew exactly what it was.
Oh,
I remember that.
Yeah, oh look.
He's like, don't tell me because I want to be surprised. I'm like, but you already know. And you did.
Yeah.
And You did guess it right.
But no, look, I think connect with your spirit friends. And we've all got a spirit guide. We don't have to always know who it is, and they don't always give a name. And they're your best friend, and they'll help you with everything in life. And so just connect with it. Join a little group with like-minded souls to develop it. And it's great.
And we're never, and going on for that too, we're never alone, because in those moments where perhaps you're surrounded by a bunch of idiots, and bless everybody, everybody's on their life path and you know, working it out for themselves. But when you're feeling the brunt of that and you feel alone, you're not, because you can connect to something in the all that is something greater than us, your spirit guides, and feel the love. You will know deep down somewhere that you're not alone.
You do. It's
comforting to me even.
Yeah.
I think, well, I'm a divine being. Yeah. This is just my meat suit for me to get around on this 3D earth to have an experience.
True.
And it's not, this is not the greater part of me. This is a vehicle for me to have an experience.
Exactly.
And so when the times get tough, I remember that I'm a divine being, I'm energy, and I take myself out of the meat suit and I just connect to the all that is. And it feels good. I feel the love. I feel grounded. I feel calmer. I feel not alone.
No.
I feel connected to something greater. So I'm not saying this is the be all and end all for, you know, I'm not saying do this and I'm dictating to you how to live your life, but this is my personal experience. And if somebody likes it, they may want to try it.
Yeah, and everyone's personal experience is different and you learn from everyone, but people don't talk about this experience as much. They don't. People don't talk about a lot of things about their lifestyle. We think we know someone, but sometimes when you stop and think, do we really? Do we really?
Never assume.
Never, ever, because you'll always be wrong.
That book you recommended last time, The 4 Agreements.
It's the best.
It is the best book.
Yeah.
Easy to read.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah.
And is just so factual.
Yeah. And honestly, I just say, ask God, Spirit, whatever you believe in, for everything you want, and they will deliver it. They will, and they do, except they don't do lotteries.
They don't do lotteries.
No, they don't. Because, see, to win a lottery could be a curse and not a blessing.
Yes. Because
it can change you so much. You could end up being someone who you don't like or you couldn't believe you'd be.
Very true.
And I always say, never worry about money. God, I used to, and I lost everything. I never worried about it, because when you do, it doesn't come in.
Blocks it.
It does. It does.
Let it go.
Just let it go and it will come. But you can ask Spirit for money and they will deliver it. Tell them how much you want, when you want to buy, and it does turn up. But you just don't try and work out how. Just accept.
Yeah, just accept. Come. Yeah, because the universe works in mysterious ways.
Always.
I remember one night I went to sleep. I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but I'll share a quick story. I went to sleep and the last thought was, did I make this up, or is this connection that I'm feeling genuine? And I know in my heart of hearts it's genuine, but I hadn't felt it for a few months. Yeah. So I wanted to connect. So I asked for them to show me a sign, but I thought, I'm going to push it now. I want a love heart. I want that to be the sign, so I know that they hear me and are with me every moment and communicating with me.
Yeah.
And the next day when I woke up, because I said, maybe if you give it to me in a cloud, a very clear heart, I'll know. So the next day, I'm getting the kids ready for school and I look up at the sky and I didn't see a heart, and I went, okay, well, and it didn't matter. I forgot about it. When I, later on, I was listening to White Feather Tarot on YouTube. She does the tarot cards. She never, ever has drinks on her table, ever. You wouldn't even know that she is drinking behind the scenes. Like, this was, a shock to me. And during the reading, she stopped and said, I have a sign for you. And because you never see her face, you only see the table and the tarot cards. She slid her coffee cup into the frame and there was this perfect heart made from the foam on the top of the coffee cup. Yeah.
You got your heart.
I got my heart. And I just went, no, you worked through White Feather Tarot, who I think she lives in Egypt. Her name's Neem. I've never met her. I've just, from listening to her for a long time, I've sort of worked it out. And I thought, my goodness. And, ever since then, she's never she's never had any coffee cups ever since either.
Wow.
And I laughed and I said, thank you. And because they want to show you in a way that it will resonate with you, that you'll know 100% that they're connected to you, they are talking to you. But you can't tell them how to do it.
No.
They have to surprise you
They do.
in a way that you just think, wow.
So it goes back to the old thing, don't expect anything.
Don't
You only get disappointed.
Yes. Yeah.
They will always be there for you. We let spirit down.
Yes.
They don't ever let us down at all, ever.
Yeah.
But I think they're wonderful.
Mm.
And it's very interesting because in the last few weeks, my original Massi Wonderful Guide has turned up again after all these years. So I'm wondering what he's here
I'm
for.
so happy for you.
Yeah, and even I read for a client a couple of weeks ago, and my teacher, she turned up, Mary Moss.
Really?
Yep. And that client of mine knew
goodness.
her, so it was wonderful.
Wow.
So I'm wondering what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to keep going. We'll find out.
Yep. And anyone who's not well, have faith and believe that, nothing that's happening is a punishment, and you can heal yourself. So I always say to everyone, every night, please heal your physical and your spiritual body, because we're two bodies. And that will keep you in good health. And don't look at things negative, even with health, because it all is happening for a reason and a purpose. We don't understand it. We don't. It's just like people will always go crazy when a little baby dies. But we don't know the bigger picture of what it's all about. We can only judge by how our life is.
Yes.
So it's hard. It's like you see young people dying and people go, why don't they take that old bugger down the street? It's not about that, because it's all divinely meant to be.
That's it.
It is.
And that's where the trust comes in.
Definitely.
And the belief.
Yep.
That, we are, the universe has got our back.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yep. So I've got a dilemma at the moment. All my friends are saying, oh, you better write a will and everything else. I said, I don't know who to leave everything to. But I said, I've always told my spirit people, give me a month's notice of my death. Okay. Then I can give everything away.
You'll work it out.
Because I've discovered with people who I've been close to, before they've died, subconsciously, they sort of known. They go and get all their paperwork or everything in order, or they go and visit friends they haven't seen for a long time. So I will get my month's notice.
You will.
Yep.
When people pass,
yes.
Question of mine. If we think of them, like I think of my friend Vinny, who passed away a few years ago now.
Yeah.
And I like to think that when I think of her, energetically, she hears my thought.
They do.
And will be with me.
They do. It's like, people are buried at a cemetery. They're not hanging around there. They're not. But when you go there to visit the grave, they turn up. So you don't even have to always go to the cemetery. You could have a lovely photo of them at home and talk to them, look at them, and they're around. They are.
So this is true.
It is.
So when I talk to my friend Vinny and I remember her and I send her love, she's hearing that.
Always.
She's feeling that.
And I always, when I think of people who've passed on, I always say just follow the light. Because, that's what it's all about.
What about this as well? This is another, I'd like to ask you about another question. Another friend of mine passed away more recently. Now, when I say friend, we worked together. So we never socialised out of work, and it was for a short period of time. But I got to know her at work. And a lady who has psychic abilities made a comment in passing saying, this lady actually sits with you in the car sometimes as you're driving from A to B.
That's true.
And I thought, but why would she do that? We weren't friends, so why is she interested in spending her time once she's passed with me in the car?
Because maybe you were kind and you had a lovely friendship. So that's what it's all about. It's just a loving energy. I had a wonderful thing happen years ago. I always had two beautiful poodles and they died. And then I went to buy two little cavaliers, and on the way home, when I was driving, I looked around because a friend was sitting with them at the back, and I saw my 2 poodles sitting with the dogs. And it's really funny because the 2 new dogs had similar characteristics and everything else to the other 2 that left.
Oh, so it sounds like their soul
was around. And even now, my lovely cat, I lived in another house, and he comes to this one. On my bed, I can see where he's walked along and where he lies down, and I've even seen him peeping around corners and whatnot. So animals still are like people, still return and are still around.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I know my cat sits and stares down this dark corridor in the house because there's a spirit there.
Yeah.
And the cat knows, and I've never seen the spirit. I've been told again by another friend who has these abilities. She does Reiki, and she said, "Oh, you've got a spirit in here, you know, it's a man." And I thought, "Oh, okay." I wasn't aware. But once she said it, then I started to really tune in on my cat, because Misty would sit there and she could sit there for an hour being entertained by something. She was really and I would look in the corridor and go, "What are you looking at, Misty? There's nothing there. You strange kitty," like you're staring at the wall. But you know, she honestly, cats are very intuitive, aren't they? Very
all
intuitive.
Are really, but cats seem to be more so.
Yeah, I've never had any dogs, only cats. So I've had a kangaroo and a goat, and a bunny. Yeah, the bunny died apparently because I loved it too much. That's what my dad said. You killed the bunny with your love because you always cuddle it and never let it down.
Could have too. Yeah, true. It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
So, no. Life is good. Enjoy it.
Yes.
And try and use all your skills and talents that you've got, and always believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in you, who else is going to? Nobody.
What a wonderful way to wrap up our interview today. I think we've traversed a lot of ground today. We
Big
certainly
long chat.
have. Big long chat. And, you know, I love these spontaneous interviews because they truly are spontaneous.
They are. And I just would love to mix with all the gifted people that you've had on your Breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Because they're all lovely, gifted people. And they would have the most wonderful stories together. And it'd be nice if we could all meet together under one roof.
I would definitely
we'll have to,
that.
because it'll be good.
Yes, I would love
because
that.
They're all talented, they're all gifted, and thank God we're not all the same.
Yes, that's it.
Very important. And they've all got the right intent to do good. And that's the most important thing. And I think clients should realise that when they go and see someone, they are in touch with someone who really cares about people and wants to help your life, because that's what it's about. Because why would we do it? We wouldn't.
That's right.
It's because we care. You have.
Life is fun.
It is. It's. I never would think life was wonderful, but now I do. And I said to Spirit, give me at least 20 more years. Because life is good.
It is good.
It's very good.
I've heard too, when we pass and we look back, you know, because we're meant to reflect on our lives when we're in that space.
We do. To see if we've learnt the lessons we came here for.
Yes, and healing too, if it's been a traumatic life.
Yeah.
But I believe the consensus is that was fun. That was, you know, all those emotions, it was perhaps tough, but we grow so much having these experiences, and we would do it again, apparently.
Look, we always say, "Oh, I wouldn't go and do what I did before," but you would, because they're all life lessons.
Yeah.
And they're all great.
It seems a bit like childbirth. Like, you know, you think, oh, you know, that looks traumatic. Like, who would want to do that? And then, you know, people do it again and they forget. And they say, "Oh, I forgot. I forgot how that felt," and they do it again. It's good.
But it's nice because, you know, life, a lady said to me just recently, she said, "I had a horrendous childhood," she said, "but I'm glad I did, because it made me who and what I am, and I learnt an awful lot, and now I can help others," because now she's a doctor and also
Intuitive?
Yeah, but she helps people.
Yes.
A psychiatrist.
She
helps people as well.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's right, because I look at my own life and I thought, my God, it was horrible. I had fabulous parents, but just people and everything else. And I thought, what a shitty life. And I think, well, now I look back and I say, I'm glad for it, because I've got all these experiences that can help people, because I've been through all that sort of stuff.
Who better than to
all
help other
sorts
people?
of abuse and everything.
Yeah.
But it was valuable.
Invaluable, that's
and I'm
it.
glad I had it, because I don't remember anything much of it, because I don't want to. And I spoke to a friend of mine who's a nurse, and I said, God, I must have dementia. And she said, why? And getting it, I said, because I don't remember an awful lot from the past. And she said, Neil, I'm glad, because you're living in the now. And that's how we all should live.
Yeah, that's good.
Live in the now, learn from the past, and plan what you want for the future.
Bring the learnings into the now.
Exactly.
Because we're all here on different degrees to be of service.
Yeah.
So we can use the learnings to.
Always.
Yeah, it's great.
And nothing's better than the voice of experience. Because who would go to a divorce lawyer if they'd never been divorced? I wouldn't. Because how would they know what it's all about and what you're going through?
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, love this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neil, for your time.
I love being with you.
Thank you. Likewise.
And
very
enjoy
much.
yourself.
Yeah, very much. You too. All right. Well, thank you all for listening to another episode of Breadcrumbs to Blueprints. We hope you have enjoyed this interview today. Any information that might be attached to this interview, like that book on sleep and that author, I can't think of her name. It's only very recent knowledge for me, but I will put it in the description box below. And Neil's details will be in the description box below too, if you'd like to contact him and have a chat. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful week.
God bless.
If you have enjoyed my show, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to be my next guest on the show, my details are in the description box below.